In the name of Allah, the Merciful, whom He alone I worship and praise, may He shower all the blessings and mercy on all of us. I welcome you. I'm your host, Abdul Hakim Ali, in a new series of episodes of Prophetic Traits. I hope, inshallah, throughout these series and episodes that we will be enlightened a little bit into the life of the greatest man ever created, Muhammad, peace be upon him. Our objective with this is to introduce you, the viewer, whether you are a Muslim, learning a little bit more extra from a different view and corner of a prophet in the life of Muhammad, peace be upon him, or someone that is interested out there to get to know who this man is that over 1 billion Muslims around the world follow, and more so, a lot of people throughout the history have acknowledged him as one of the greatest men ever existed. Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a man. I would like to emphasize that at the beginning, that he is a man, like any other man, but a man that has been chosen to represent and relay the message of the Lord as many of the prophets before him. In Islam, brothers and sisters out there, prophets in our history are many. And we have had prophets from the time of Adam, to Noah, to Abraham, to Jacob, to David, to Joseph. We've had prophets like Moses, Jesus, and of course, coming to the conclusion, the seal of all prophets, Muhammad, peace be upon him. I hope throughout the series, I would fulfill the life of the greatest, and I ask the forgiveness that any lack of shortage is because of my limited knowledge and the limited time, of course, on the screen. As we start today, I would like you to get to know the name, as well as the person. And I will address these series from a different angle, not necessarily the angle of prophecy and the angle of the messenger, the angle of a great man that has existed throughout the history of mankind. Muhammad, peace be upon him, is Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, the son of Abdul Muttalib, and you can say Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib, the son of Hashim, the son of Abdul Manaf. And his history and his name and family descend from the child Ismail, who is the child of Abraham. Ismail himself was a prophet. He's the son of Isaac, Ishaq. He's the brother and the sibling of Isaac, Ishaq. Sorry about that. And both were the children of Abraham. For Abraham had these two children after a long time, and they are the results of his prayers. And of course, Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a result of that early prayer of Abraham, that he will have the message and prophecy go throughout his children. Isaac was the father of all the prophets of the Israelites, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is a prophet that was sent to the Middle East and to be spread as a prophet to all mankind and to all the universe. His mother, her name was Aminah. Aminah, the daughter of Wahb. So he is the son of Abdullah, as well as the son of Aminah. Unfortunately for the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and we as Muslims say peace be upon all prophets, his grandfather had to take care of him as a start, because his father passed away while he was still a fetus within his mother's womb. But he lived with his grandfather as a son. And at that time, it was a blessing from the Lord that he was to be taken care of by his grandfather. His grandfather was so anxious and excited to have a child, and he wanted this child to be the best that there can be. And from the beginning, he started to think, who will discipline, and who will teach, and who will train this newborn child that was named Muhammad, the merciful, how to speak, how to articulate, and how to become among the masters of his time. And his mother, having him as her only child, had to give some sacrifice for that and was willing to let her son go, which he did. He was given to a woman that will take care of him and breastfeed him. Her name was Halima as-Sa'diyah. Halima as-Sa'diyah. A poor family, but rich with character, rich with manners. And this newborn child, carried in the arms of this unknown woman that is going to start his new beginning of a life that all humanity till today are trying to implement and mimic. She takes him, and from the beginning, my brothers and sisters out there, she noticed there's blessings within this child. There's something special that is different from all these children. Because as soon as she took him into her arms, her breast, the milk started to flow. As soon as she rode her mule, her camel started running faster than any of the other camels that her tribe came with. It was a new beginning, and for the next 3 years of his life, he lived with Halima as-Sa'diyah. He was breastfed from a rich family with character and manners and behaviors and a strong tongue, a very articulate tongue, a tongue that only says the truth, and a tongue that will only believe in the truth to come. At the end of the 3 years, an incident happened, my brothers and sisters out there, that brought a little fear into the heart of Halima in this family of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet, peace be upon him, which 2 angels came and performed the first surgery in the human history. They opened his chest, took out his heart, cleansed it with water, pure water from heaven, put it in there, back in his chest, and left. What they took, my brothers and sisters out there, is they took the side of the darkness that you and I as human beings live. That portion that the devil penetrates into our life through. That voice that you and I usually hear that brings the temptations and the desires to their peak to try to do something wrong. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was cleansed with this. He didn't have it. And yes, he still had that devil with him as we all, but that devil was only to order him with what's right, because his heart has been pure. This is a man that started with pure heart. He can never carry hatred. He can never intend harm. It is not within his nature. The nature of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, my brothers and sisters, was pure. From the age of 3, he couldn't understand what false is. He couldn't understand how people can be so wrong because he never experienced being wrong. He was returned to his family out of fear that there might be some danger happen to him. And he was given back to his mother. But Halima was put to ease. And if she wished to take him back, she can. And he settled with his mother. But unfortunately, it was just a matter of time till the age of 6. And this child loses his guardian, the one that has been taking care of him, Abdul Muttalib, his grandfather. During this episode, brothers and sisters, while we're studying the prophetic traits of this prophet, the greatest prophet in the seal of the prophets, I'd like to touch about the human side of him. He was a child, a son, and later became a father. As a son to his grandfather, he was very loved. And in fact, it is written in history that his uncles felt at times jealous because his grandfather would not allow them to sit in his setting place as he would allow the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He would have him sit next to him. He would cuddle him near him. He would have him close. He did not like to see him distant from himself. This is because of the nature that the Prophet Muhammad was. You look at his face from the first moment, you feel like you're close to him, that you know him, that you love him, that you care, and that you want to listen to him. Even as a child, he was able to captivate the hearts and minds of those surrounding him, and they looked at him as the loved one. And he lived till the age of 6 with his grandfather, but his grandfather passed away. Passing away, we find that his uncles were arguing who's going to take care of Muhammad. Who will have the honor to be the guardian of the greatest man that will ever exist? And Abu Talib won this argument, being the uncle of the Prophet from both sides, where he was a complete sibling of Abdullah, the father of Muhammad, peace be upon him. Abu Talib was the right and the perfect person to take care of the Prophet, peace be upon him. In a new era, in a new time, started for this young child that was to look into life in the complete different vision than all humans existed at that time. His mother, Amina, wanted him to accompany her to visit her family in the city of Yathrib, about 450 kilometers away from Mecca, north of Mecca, the birthplace of the Prophet, peace be upon him. But when she reached Mecca, when she reached Medina, departing from Mecca, she got ill. And again, this orphan that lost his father before he saw the light of the sun is to lose his mother before he can depend on himself. She dies when he's at the age of 8, only to return to Mecca to his uncle, now without a father as well as without a mother. It's a preparation, brothers and sisters out there, so he can be trained and able to take the challenges of time and the challenges of the message that is to be his message in just a number of years. It is a chance for him to train himself for patience, for love, for care, to understand the taste of calamities, of loneliness, because he will be taking care of a nation and people that most of them are lonely, in need. He lives with his uncle. He showed that he is part of the family. He worked as a shepherd. And throughout the day, he would go to the mountains and climb. He will take care of the sheep for his family. He will participate in earning. He also not just was a shepherd, he was accompanying his uncle to do trade. Traveled across the peninsula with his uncle, trying to add a hand into the family. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, my dear brothers and sisters, was just not a messenger that sat back and then he said, I have been told to relate to you a message that there is no God worthy of worship. No, he was trained from the beginning to be part of the society, part of the family. He was offering as everyone does. He was providing like everyone is. He learned how to earn his own living as well as be a source of earning for other people. He accompanies his uncle at a young age, at an age of 11 or 12 as it said, across the peninsula. Can you imagine traveling the deserts? A new experience for a child, traveling the deserts, reaching a destination he's never seen. And this mission was only to reach a level where he has to return because the beginning of signs of greatness have been found. A man notices that he is the upcoming prophet, tells his uncle, take your nephew back home. Our episode is coming to an end. This is how we would like to address our episodes, and I hope that I can keep you with me till the end. I, your host, Abdul Hakim Ali, glad to see you with me in learning the character and the person of Muhammad, peace be upon him. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.